can we really call Real Madrid's season a failure?
I get it. After the past few years, we're used to seeing Madrid always fighting for the Champions League. They're always chasing titles. And yeah, this season isn't totally different. But the elimination against Arsenal? That hit hard. A 5-1 defeat on aggregate, including a 3-0 loss in England, with 2 free-kick goals from Declan Rice. Anyone who watched knows, Arsenal dominated from the first minute to the last, even at the Bernabéu.
And we know how Madrid fans react to that. They've already started criticizing coach Carlo Ancelotti and even Kylian Mbappé.
Still, before calling the whole season a failure, we've got to go back to how it started. There was the UEFA Super Cup, Mbappé had just arrived, and the hype was real. Madrid beat Atalanta 2-0, with Mbappé scoring in his debut. They also won the Club World Cup, beating Pachuca 3-0. That win made Ancelotti the most successful coach in Real Madrid's history. But we all knew this season would be tough. Madrid lost key players like Toni Kroos and Nacho. Nacho was a workhorse, not the flashiest, but Kroos, he retired at his peak. He was the guy who controlled the tempo, who delivered perfect passes to Vini and the rest of the attack.
He took set pieces, shot from distance, and brought calm to the midfield, a huge loss.
And off the pitch, there's the fact that Barcelona, under Hansi Flick, is having an incredible season. They went further than Madrid in the Champions League, beating Dortmund and reaching the semi-finals. Something Barca hadn't done in years. In La Liga, Barcelona's also leading. They've got 73 points. Madrid's right behind with 69. But if we're being honest, Barca's football looks way better this year. Head-to-head? It doesn't look good for Madrid. In October, Barcelona won 4-0 in La Liga. Then in January, they won again, 5-2 in the Spanish Super Cup. Now Madrid has one more shot, a Copa del Rey final. Against Barcelona, it's a chance for redemption. Or it could be another tough loss. And look, I know people are coming for Mbappé, but not all of the criticism is fair. Yeah, he was quiet against Arsenal, but before that, he scored a hat-trick against Manchester City. He's been playing well, and the numbers don't lie. He's Madrid's top scorer this season, 33 goals total. He's got 22 in La Liga alone, second only to Lewandowski. What's really hurting Madrid right now is the tension with Ancelotti. Even though he's the most successful coach in club history, people are saying his tactics don't work against high-intensity teams. That his substitutions come too late.
That he doesn't bring creative solutions when things get tough.
And yeah, there's that ongoing debate. Can you really play Mbappé, Vini, Rodrigo, and Bellingham all at once? Someone has to sacrifice a little for the good of the team. All of this is blowing up because of that brutal Champions League exit. 5-1 on aggregate. For Madrid fans, it's devastating. The UCL is the trophy. And this wasn't just a loss. They were outclassed. Real Madrid's defense was wide open. Arsenal broke through with ease, especially in England, but even in Madrid. Despite a defensive setup in the second leg, Arsenal still won comfortably. The midfield offered no control, a far cry from the dominant days of Kroos, Modrić, and peak Valverde. This season's constant makeshift changes and lack of stability are catching up to Madrid, exposing serious issues in both defense and midfield that used to be their strengths. Then, you add the injuries. Players like Militao and Alaba were out for a long time and are only just returning from surgeries. And Vini, he's also had some physical struggles this season. If we look at the physical side, Madrid clearly isn't the same. They're covering less ground per match than last season. You remember how dominant Rudiger and Mendy used to be? They made it nearly impossible to win physical duels. Real Madrid used to be a team that could run for 120 minutes without slowing down. This season, they just look tired. That energy, that stamina, it's not there anymore. I also think this version of Real Madrid is emotionally unstable. Look at the crowd reactions. Mbappé, for example. Even though he's the top scorer, people are criticizing him for not showing up in the big games, like this one against Arsenal. And yeah, he's been booed at the Bernabéu. That kind of pressure and negativity, it affects players. It adds tension in the locker room. It makes everything harder. Remember when people said 90 minutes at the Santiago Bernabéu is a long time? That magic, this year it just isn't there. Now if you ask me, individually, was this a failure for Real Madrid's players? Well, it depends. Luka Modrić. He's playing less and less. It feels like we're watching the final chapter of his Real Madrid story. Rodrigo? A few weeks ago, I even made a video praising him. But the truth is, he's still inconsistent. He always has a few great games, then drops off. At this point in his career, he should be more reliable. He doesn't need to be on the level of Vini, Mbappé, or Bellingham, but he should at least be a top supporting player. Tchouaméni and Camavinga. They've both lost some momentum, either from injuries or tactical choices, but they're still young. They've got time. Especially Tchouaméni. He's an excellent defensive midfielder. Camavinga, maybe not quite
As good in that role, but he's a versatile piece, a wild card, and that kind of player is essential for a squad like this.
Now, if we're talking about players who are doing well, Vini, for example, he's thriving. He's that electric, unpredictable spark. The face of Real Madrid's future. And their present too.
Valverde? Sensational. He's world class. Consistent, gritty, decisive. Just recently, he scored a 93rd minute goal against Athletic Bilbao to keep Madrid alive in the La Liga title race. I don't think they'll win it, but hey, that's a conversation for another day.
Valverde is also one of the rare players who actually shows up in big games. Him and Vini, they have that star power, that game-changing quality. And Bellingham, look, last season he was unstoppable. The whole Bell goal phase. This year, with Mbappé in the squad, of course his role shifted. He dropped deeper. He's not expected to carry the scoring load anymore. Yet he has delivered. Technically outstanding and calm under pressure. In all competitions, he has scored 13 goals and provided 11 assists. 24 goal contributions in 42 games. For a midfielder, that's seriously impressive. Honestly, there's nothing to criticize about Bellingham. Now, Real Madrid isn't the kind of club where a bad season just blows over. We know changes are coming. There's already talk of Trent Alexander-Arnold joining as right back, finally addressing that position. Because let's be honest, Carvajal struggled with injuries and Madrid has had to improvise. Valverde at right back? That's not sustainable. So Arnold coming in might signal that the club's ready to stop patching holes and start solving problems. There's also strong buzz around Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, a really smart midfielder who could fit perfectly into this team. Definitely a name to watch. And of course, all of this might be under a new coach. Because yeah, it's looking very likely that Carlo Ancelotti will leave at the end of the season. Ancelotti deserves credit. He revived a struggling Madrid, empowered Vini, and brought back attractive football. He's up there with the greats like Guardiola and Ferguson. One tough season doesn't erase his legacy. We might see more goodbyes. Lucas Vázquez, Alaba, maybe even Modrić. Feels like the end of an era. But Madrid's clearly shifting gears, blending stars like Mbappé and Vini with young guns like Arda Güler and Endrick. So, now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this Real Madrid season? Was it really a failure? Or just a step in their transition? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Drop a like, and if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow.